Have you ever copped a speeding fine that you didn't agree with? Well, more than 200,000 incidents in Victoria are under review after reports of major problems with new mobile speed cameras. Issues including software faults, GPS failures, and obscured number plates, and most concerning of all is an effect called the Doppler that records some vehicles travelling faster than they actually are. One truck, in fact, was clocked at more than 110 kilometres per hour when half a second beforehand, that same truck had been recorded at 65 kilometres per hour. Operators are also claiming they haven't had adequate training, but Victorian police have said they are confident all speeding fines were legitimately issued. Shock horror. Ben, have you ever challenged a speeding fine?
Yeah, I have actually.
Did you win?
I did. I actually won.
Excellent.
And I still kind of, look, at the end of the day, I think, I'm really angry about parking and speeding fines. But look, I'll share this with you. In 2006, I was diagnosed with depression. And for 4 years after that, I racked up an unbelievable amount of speeding fines and parking fines, mainly parking fines. I just was not plugged into the mainframe, so to speak. And I just was going around and I really just was in a different space. And it was funny, I met my partner in 2010 who was like, I've never seen so much mail arrive in one person's house except for Harry Potter. And I had like all this mail falling from the roof. And I eventually, confided in him that I had $30,000 in fines. And so my partner, who's very organized, was like, we need to get you onto a plan. Anyway, I went to go and have this looked at the courts. And, the funny thing was, this couple of years later, I'd never had a parking fine after I wasn't suffering from depression. So they narrowed it down to me being depressed during this 4-year period. And because I had no other fines or parking fines afterwards, they just seemed to say that was when it was in that particular time zone of 4 years. And with the special circumstances, some things weren't waived, but I didn't have to pay any of the $30,000.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. I challenged a speeding fine. I've never had a parking fine, but I was a bit of a leadfoot in my younger years, I will admit. And I had I actually found a loophole in the law where they changed the loophole, so it doesn't exist anymore. But I got down on my points and overpaid the fine. And there was a thing in the police, in the way they worked, is that they couldn't process the points if they still owed you change. Like if you had sent in a check for too much money and they owed you $10, they couldn't process the points.
I've heard about this.
So I got to hold on to that check came back. I burnt part of it. I ate some of it. I tore it up. That check was never getting deposited into my bank account, let me tell you. But I also did challenge a speeding fine I got. I was doing 72 in a 50 zone, and I was going around a corner and didn't know it was a 50 zone, got clocked. And my whole thing in court was, well, I know I was speeding even if it was a 60 zone, because I thought it was a 60 zone, but I was only doing 12 Ks over. So, okay, we'll move on.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob